Hello and welcome to another tier list video. Today we're taking a look at brands of bottled water. So I've chosen 8 of the most popular bottled water brands, so let's jump in. Starting us off, we have Nestle's Pure Life. Now this is probably like the cheapest bottled water. You can get a pack of 48 for a ridiculously low price at Target or Walmart, wherever you want to buy them. And quality-wise, it still tastes okay. When you have it cold, there's really no taste. It tastes pretty good. I've noticed when you have it warm, there is a slight plasticky taste, but it's barely noticeable, and for the price, it's still pretty good. I think Pure Life is an A tier. Up next, we have Ice Mountain. Similar to Pure Life, you can get it for pretty cheap. It's a little more expensive than Pure Life is gonna be, but what you get is worth it. The taste of Ice Mountain is so good, whether it's cold, or room temperature, it's going to be delicious. Ice Mountain is probably the best water on this list, I would say, and it is an easy S tier. I don't think I've ever had a bad bottle of Ice Mountain water in my life. It's so good, it's a great price, you just can't beat it. Up next, we have Evian. Now, Evian is kind of the in-between of like budget cheap bottled water and luxury bottled water, if we can even call it that. It's a little more pricey, a little bit of a thicker bottle. I think their thing is it's supposed to be from the French Alps or something. You can correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I believe that's correct. And Evian is one that it does have a distinct flavor outside of just like the water flavor. And normally that's a bad thing, but with Evian, it's really not too bad. It's not offensive to my taste buds at all. It still tastes good. It's still refreshing, especially if it's cold. But it's not the best. I wouldn't say the taste really adds anything to the water. Most of the time I just want water to, taste pure and plain. So, but it's still okay, and it's a little pricier, but still good water. We'll put it in the B tier. Up next, we have Voss Water. Now, Voss Water is what you get when you spend all your money on trying to style a sleek and modern looking water bottle and then don't actually spend any money on getting good water. The Voss water bottle, it looks pretty cool, looks, modern and sleek, but the taste is pretty underwhelming. It doesn't have a super distinct flavor. It's similar to Evian where like there's a little bit of something to taste there that's not just the pure water. But it's honestly just not good. Whether it's cold or warm, I would probably just rather have tap water. I think Voss Water is not the best. We'll put it in the D tier. Up next, we have Aquafina. Now, Aquafina is more expensive than something like Ice Mountain or Pure Life, and yet it's still bad. There's not really a whole lot of taste outside of the water flavor, but it kind of just tastes like plastic. When you drink it cold, I've noticed it's not the worst thing in the world. I'll still drink it if it's cold, but when you get Aquafina to room temperature and you take a swig, there's just something not quite right, and it does not taste good at all. I think I would rather just die of thirst than have to drink Aquafina at room temperature, so we'll put that one in the D tier. Up next, we have Fiji water. This is probably the most expensive water on this list, and I'll admit, when I saw Fiji water, I was like, really, Fiji water? Like, it's so overpriced in my opinion. And then I tried it, and honestly, it is really good water. There's not a whole lot of taste to it, like something in like Evian or Voss. It just tastes really pure and really clean. It tastes almost similar to Ice Mountain, but just kind of a step up. And I'll admit, I was really impressed, and I understood why people liked Fiji water. I mean, apparently it comes straight from Fiji, and honestly, it's really good. If you want to buy some more expensive water, I would recommend it, but just flavor-wise, I actually think it's really good water. I'm going to slot it up in the S tier along with Ice Mountain. Up next, we have Dasani. Now, I almost didn't put Dasani on this list because I don't like to acknowledge them as actual water because it does not taste like actual water. It doesn't matter if Dasani is cold or at room temperature, the taste is just abhorrent. And I wouldn't wish my worst enemies to have to drink Dasani water. I mean, I can literally remember one time when I was really thirsty and I was a kid, and my mom had a bottle of water, and I was like, oh, like, can I have some of your water? And she was like, of course. And it was Dasani at like room temperature, and I took a swig and I almost spit it out. It was so bad. Even though I was super thirsty, I was like, I would rather suffer than have to suffer a worse fate. I think drinking Dasani is a worse fate than dying of thirst. So Dasani, easy F tier, deserves to be there. They need to fix their water. I don't know why they're adding in like other ingredients, things like salt. I mean, come on, just give me some pure water. You don't need to have a super unique taste, Dasani. Get in the F tier. Last but not least, we have Smart Water. Now, Smart Water is a bit of an oxymoron because if you see somebody buying a bottle of Smart Water, it's pretty safe to say that they're probably not that smart. Smart Water, the flavor is just not great, and like Voss Water, it's overpriced. If you're gonna buy a luxury water, I would recommend Fiji. Smart Water just doesn't taste that good. It doesn't have a whole lot of added flavors to the water, but just drinking it, whether it's cold or warm, it's not the best. But I will say it's not quite as expensive as Voss Water is. Quality wise, it's about the same, but because it is a little more cheap, we'll put it in the C tier. So that's my list. I feel like these are pretty solid, but I'd love to hear if you guys disagree, so let me know.